right. I want to start, it's our last lesson in this series, but I want to start it a little bit differently this week. I want to tell you all something that is true about me. I spend a lot of time in my own head. And I don't just mean thinking. If I'm honest, I mean getting stuck there. I replay conversations. I think about what I should have said. I think about what I could have done better. I think about where I missed something and why. And it's not just once. It's not just occasionally. If I'm not careful, it is constant. I can finish something at work, something that should be done. Instead of moving on, I think and I go right back through every detail again. I should have done that differently. I should have handled that situation better. That wasn't good enough. And the strange thing is, it feels like I'm doing something productive. It feels like I'm being responsible. It feels like I'm trying to improve myself. But I'm not actually moving forward. I'm just circling. I'm circling the same thoughts, the same insecurities, the same pressure constantly. And when I stay there long enough, everything starts to revolve around me. Everything becomes about my performance and my thoughts and my struggles, what I did, what I didn't do, what I wish I had done differently. And the more I stay in that mindset, the smaller everything gets. Okay, because my world shrinks down to then becoming all about what I feel and what I think and what I'm dealing with. And it doesn't just stay in your thoughts. It starts to affect how you live. You start second-guessing yourself in everything that you do. You hesitate. You overthink what should be simple decisions. You feel busy, but nothing is actually changing. You feel like you're trying, but you're not actually moving forward. And after a while, you don't even realize how much of your life is being spent there because it just feels normal. It becomes the regular thing. And I think a lot of you know what that feels like. Maybe not in the exact same situations, but you know what it's like to live inside your own head, where everything keeps coming back to you. What people think about you, what you look like, what you said, what you didn't say, what's going on in your life, what you are dealing with, what you are trying to figure out. And when you try to distract yourself, it doesn't really go away. You can scroll, you can watch something, you can stay busy and keep yourself occupied, but underneath all of that, you are still there in that mental space, and your life just keeps circling back and back and back to you. And it feels normal. It feels like that's just life and how I am and the kind of person that I am. I convince myself of that. But it's not what you were made for. Here's what I want you to see today. You were not made to live focused on yourself, even though it feels natural, even though it feels normal. Because when your life is centered on you, everything stays small. your world then becomes limited to your thoughts, your emotions, your struggles. And no matter how much you think about it, no matter how much you analyze the situation, no matter how much you try to figure it out, you don't actually move forward. You just keep circling, trying to fix yourself, trying to understand yourself, trying to manage everything inside your own head, and you never step out of it. And this is where everything begins to change. Because the answer is not, well, just try harder. The answer is not, fix everything. The answer is not, well, figure yourself out. No, the answer is come to God. I know that sounds cliche. Let's dig into the text and see what that actually looks like and what that means. Because it's not cliche, I promise you. And that's what I want you to see this morning. Turn in your Bibles to Matthew chapter 11. Matthew chapter 11, we're going to look at verses 28 to 30. Matthew is the first gospel in the New Covenant. All right. Follow along with me, please. Again, we're in Matthew 11. We're going to look at verses 28, 29, and 30. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is comfortable, and my burden is light. So Yeshua says, come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Doesn't sound complicated, but it's very different from how most of us live, right? Because most of us just don't come to him. We delay. We distract ourselves. We try to manage things on our own. We stay hidden behind our phones. We tell ourselves, I'll deal with that later. I'll figure it out. I just need to get through this particular trial first. And we stay stuck carrying everything ourselves. But Yeshua says, come to me. Come to me. Not after you fix yourself. Not after you clean everything up. Not after you stop struggling. Now, right where you are. And who's he talking to? People who are weary. People who are carrying things. People who are feeling the weight of life. People who are tired. People who feel stuck and are struggling. He's talking to people exactly like you and exactly like me. He is not just talking about adults with jobs and bills and all these adult responsibilities. He is talking to anyone carrying weight. And I'm willing to bet that's every one of you. And some of you are carrying more than people realize. Maybe not physically, maybe not visibly, but internally. You're carrying pressure to fit in, pressure to be liked, pressure to be funny enough, to be cool enough, to be good enough, to be noticed enough, to be included enough, to be attractive enough. Some of you carry pressure at home. Some of you carry pressure at school. Some of you carry pressure from your friends. And some of you carry pressure that nobody even knows about, because on the outside, you look completely fine. And what most people do is they just keep carrying it. They distract themselves, they scroll, they laugh, they stay busy, they avoid being alone with their thoughts. But nothing actually changes for them. And Yeshua steps in those moments and he says, "Come to me." Not pretend you're okay. Not carry it longer. Not go and figure it out and then come back. He knows what you're struggling with. And he says, "Come to me in the midst of your struggles." That is an invitation. That is an invitation that most people ignore because they're so used to carrying everything themselves. And he says, "I will give you rest." Not escape, not an immediate solution to everything. He says, "I will give you rest." That means that you are no longer driven by the pressure that you are carrying. It means you are no longer stuck trying to hold everything together on your own. It means you're no longer trying to fix your life by yourself. And then he says, "Take my yoke upon you." That means step into a life with me, alongside me. Walk with me. Be connected to me. Learn from me. And this is important. A yoke connects two things together. When you're yoked to someone, it means you are not moving through life alone anymore. It means your life is now joined with his, with Yeshua's. He's not inviting you to a moment. He is inviting you to a way of living your life. And this is where this becomes different from everything else. Because this is not about becoming perfect. This is not about fixing everything in your life. This is not about becoming a completely different person overnight. This is about where your life is centered. Because if your life is centered on you, you will always be stuck trying to fix yourself. Believe me, I know. But when your life is centered on God and you live your life yoked, walking alongside Yeshua, you are no longer carrying that life alone. He's got you. But what does it actually look like to walk with God? Well, he actually tells us in the book of Micah, chapter 6, verse 8. He has told you what is good and what he requires. Do justice, love mercy, walk humbly with God. And that sounds simple, but this is where real life actually becomes visible. Do justice. This means you don't just do what feels right, you do what is right. And those are not always the same thing. Because what feels right in the moment is usually what's easiest, what benefits you the most, what avoids discomfort for you. But what doing what is right means is you choose truth over convenience. You choose what's right in how you speak, in how you act, in how you respond, even when it costs you something. Even when it could be easier not to. Love mercy. I think we all have a familiarity with what mercy is, but here's what's key about mercy. Mercy shifts your focus outward. Because when you're stuck in yourself, you don't really see people. You only see yourself. You see how they affect you. You see what they think about you. You see how you compare to them. You think about, what are they thinking about me? How are they evaluating me? You're not actually thinking about those people. It's all about you. But loving mercy means you actually begin to care about other people. Not in theory, in real life. You notice them. You respond to them. You give grace. You don't just react. Your life stops being centered on you and starts moving toward others. And walk humbly with your God. This is the center of everything. This means you stop trying to carry your life on your own. You stop acting like everything depends on you. You stop trying to figure everything out by yourself. Remember who you're supposed to yoke yourself with. You stay close to Him. You bring your thoughts to Him, your struggles to Him. You bring your decisions to Him. Not once, consistently. Walking with God is not a feeling. It is a daily direction. It's choosing again and again to not live centered on yourself, but to stay connected to stay yoked, to stay alongside Yeshua. But when your focus shifts, when your life becomes about walking with God, everything changes. Not because your problems disappear. Not because life suddenly becomes easy. Not because everything works out the way that you want. You still face pressure. You will still face challenges. You will still face difficult moments and trials and tribulations, but what changes is how you move through them. Because when your life is centered on you, every single problem you face feels bigger. Every comment hits harder. Every awkward moment stays with you longer. Every conflict you have feels deeply personal. Someone doesn't text back and suddenly your mind starts just going everywhere. Your parents correct you at home, and instead of hearing it, you just immediately get defensive. You have to defend yourself because you think you're under attack. A friend leaves you out of something, and now everything feels personal. What's wrong? What has gone on? Why do they hate me now? And when your life is centered on you, guess what? All of those things control you. You're not free. You're yoked to something else. These things shape your mood. They shape your thoughts. They shape how you respond to people and to situations and what you think life is. But when you start walking with God, those things don't disappear, but they don't own you anymore. When you are yoked and walk along with Yeshua, when trials come, when struggles come, when hardship comes, when crap comes along, it doesn't own you anymore. Because you've got the King who loves you right next to you. And his burden is light, not because your struggles are small. But when you walk with him, you realize they're light because he carries it for you. And now, instead of immediately reacting to situations, you begin bringing these things to him. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You begin asking, God, all right, what are you doing with me through this? You're right here with me. How do we approach this? It changes how you respond. It changes how you see people. It changes how you walk through life. Instead of being stuck in your own head, trying to figure everything out, thinking that you are all on your own, you begin to bring these things to God. Instead of asking, how do I get out of this? You begin asking, okay, God, what are you doing through this? Instead of reacting out of your emotions, you begin responding with awareness of him. You know his presence with you. Instead of everything circling and revolving back to you, your life begins to move outward. And over time, you start to see everything differently. You start to respond differently. You start to live differently. Not because you forced it, but because your life is no longer centered on you. You have yoked yourself to the King, to the one person who loves you more than anybody else in this world can, who cares about you deeper than anybody else. So here's the question. It's not, how do I fix everything? It's not, how do I become perfect? But what would it look like for you to actually come to God? And if we're being honest, for a lot of people, the reason they don't do this, the reason they don't come to God, is not because they can't. It's because something keeps getting in the way. They keep putting something in the way. Sometimes it's pride. You want control. You want to do things your way. You don't want anyone telling you what to do. You make your own decisions. Sometimes it's distraction. You are constantly entertained. You are constantly busy. You are constantly filling your mind with something. And because of that, you never slow down long enough to actually hear him. Sometimes it's comfort, or maybe I should say discomfort. Because you know if you really come to God, if you really yoke yourself alongside him, something in your life might need to change. And honestly, you don't know if you want that. Sometimes it's fear. It can be fear of what people think, fear of standing out, fear of what happens if your faith actually becomes real. And so instead of actually coming, people just stay where they are. They ignore the invitation. It's not because God isn't calling them. It's because they keep saying no. So I'll ask you again, what would it take for you to actually come to Him? Not just once, but to yoke yourself to Him. To decide, I'm going to walk alongside Yeshua as my good shepherd every day that He gives me. And I'm going to see life differently. What would it look like to stop ignoring Him? To stop pushing Him off? To stop staying stuck in yourself? And instead to turn toward Him and to walk with Him alongside Him, to actually bring your life to Him. You don't need to fix everything. You need to stop living for yourself and come to God. Because you can keep living the way that you've been living. You can keep living focused on your thoughts and your struggles and your distractions, and your life will stay exactly where it is. Or you can come to God. Not when things are perfect and you've got everything figured out, but now, genuinely, and begin walking your life alongside Him. Real life doesn't start when everything changes. It starts when you come to God, because then you will see everything changing. You were not made to live for yourself. You were made to walk with God. To have real life. Let's pray. Avinu, we love you. God, I love you so much. Because you are all powerful. You are greater than anything else ever created. And yet, you invite me to walk with you through life. Forgive me, Lord, for the times I have turned and walked my own way. Doing things the way I think they should be done and just forgetting where I'm created to be. Forgetting where I am to be yoked. Thinking that I can carry all this stuff in life by myself. Forgive me, Lord. Thank you for the invitation for anyone to come to you, to walk alongside you, to see life through the eyes of truth. It's life-changing because you are life-changing. Thank you that you love us so much, that you carry the weight of the things that we go through every day that we allow you to. Lord, I pray for any student here that either has not come to you for anything, that they would come now. That they would ignore the distractions, the thoughts circling through their heads, anything that would keep them from just throwing them aside and coming to you. For those who already know you and are saved by you, help them to see where they are walking through life by themselves as they are not intended to. Draw them back to yourself that they might see the struggles and trials and difficulties and crud that they're going through, not from just their own eyes, but from yours as well, because they are yoked to you. And may they know that your burden is light. May they feel the weight of life lift as they do this every day that you give them. Help us all, Lord, to be better at yoking ourselves to you and walking with you through our daily lives. In Yeshua's name, amen.